ago, there was 38 million people that collected. Now we have almost 43 million. That's outstanding. That's quite a huge number of people. Within almost 5 million people that picked it up within 4, 5 days, 3 days. If we go on that trajectory, by the end of probably this time next week, we should have well over 58 million people that have picked up the card, if not more. So I think it's, I'm generally quite optimistic about the collection of the card. And as time goes on, just like Nigeria, things are done last minute. Everything will be sorted out come election day. Okay,
Kayode Idowu, the Chief Press Secretary to INEC, is standing by. He joins us from our studios on Skype from Abuja. Kayode, thank you for joining us again today. Well, the panelists here like to give INEC the benefit of the doubt, but those who are sending us questions on Twitter appear apprehensive. They're asking, how will they go ahead and collect their PVCs? From the figures we have from your commission, over about 26 million. What is the strategy to get people of that figure to collect their permanent voter cards?
Thank you, Chairman, for having me. I really appreciate the benefit of the doubt that the panelists there is giving INEC, and I want to assure you that it is well invested. The Commission will spare no effort to make sure that for as many as are willing to collect their cards, they will have their cards available. As we speak, the Commission has sent out about 65 million, more than 65 million cards. What we have left to send out, and that will happen before the end of the week, is just a little over 3 million cards. In other words, these cards will be put out there, and people will be required to come and pick those cards. And I am sure, just like one of the panelists have said, in Nigeria, the more the deadline approaches, the more people turn up to do the needful. And so we are optimistic that more people will come out in the next couple of days, and they will pick the cards.
The thing about people coming out to pick these cards, there are lots of people who have said they've been to where INEC designated them to go ahead and pick their cards, but on getting there are several reasons they give, and I hope with time I should be able to read out specific cases, but many of them who have gone there, or some of them who have gone there, have not been able to get their cards. Have you heard some of these complaints, and how are you addressing them?
Yeah, we have had these complaints, but Chamberlain, if you check, many of the people who have made that complaint are people that we captured in the continuous voter registration in December. INEC never said these cards were going to be produced in the instant. We collected the data, we came back to process the data. Now the data have been sent for production, and the cards have been produced. As a matter of fact, the large portion of people of the cards outstanding in a place like Lagos have been sent out. And if people go there, they will find those cards at the ward distribution point. The outstanding cards, yes, there are perhaps some outstanding cards still. And these are the ones that I said will be available by weekend. So when the last time people went and said they didn't find their card, if you check, these are mostly people that did the registration in December. The question to ask is, what about those who did it in 2011 and the cards were there? These are the people that we expected will have come out to pick those cards while we were producing the cards for those who did the continuous voter registration.
All right, thank you, Kayode. We'll come back to you in a minute. Let me get back to the panelists here. Speaking about logistics, Mr. Chukwuma, I mean, you've been in this for some time, and there's always this concern that people have about logistics. Now, one of the recent commentary concerning when people go to pick up their PVCs, they're talking about how they are assisting some INEC ad hoc staff to provide certain materials, and they think if that's the case now, they're a little apprehensive what will happen during the general elections when you have more people on the queue waiting to be attended to.
Well, you know, the INEC staff that are involved in this exercise are ad hoc staff. and the nature of ad hoc staff is that you have to recruit them anew in every round of election. And since this is the beginning of this round, the preparation, the hope is that they will improve on the job as more and more people come to collect these PVC cards. And the hope is that there is also a back room reviewing how things are going with a view to perhaps improving areas where they observe that things are not going well. So I want to believe that they have 2 more weeks before we enter into the week of elections, and they should be able to sort out whatever problems that arise in this process. But we should also appreciate the fact that the technology they are using in this particular election has actually not been used before. This is the first time, as you rightly pointed out in your remarks before we commence discussion, that this is the first time we are using the PVC cards. This is also the first time we are going to use card readers. So all those things will have their own teething problems. And some of the critics who have talked about this is that they say you don't go into a big elections like this to introduce new technology without first, piloting them. These things, they usually have to have smaller elections leading to this bigger one. But somebody say, I think it's my friend, that we're used to this last-minute approach. Let's hope that our last-minute culture will help us out this time. But I don't envy them. It's a logistic nightmare. From the perspective of election observation, not even being in the thick of it, I can tell you it's not an easy job.
Quickly, before we go to break, a nightmare for you too?
It's elections in Nigeria is always a nightmare. It's even in India, the largest democracy in the world, the elections are done out in stages in almost a week to get out almost 800 million people to come out and vote. So Nigeria is a very unique country in the fact that it is extremely large. It's got diverse topography, vegetation, etc. And you have also this last-minute culture of funding for INEC coming in late, logistics being underestimated, etc. So it's always been a challenge. But believe me, you can basically look back and you say, is there been an improvement since the last election, subsequent elections? And you can say yes. So everybody's looking at an upward movement of election performance in Nigeria. And hopefully this 2015 election supports that argument.
All right, we'll go to break now. We'll be back in just a moment. Join us again.